Lords and ladies, hear, see, and understand that we, Barrack, Baron Flaming Gryphon, and Mavanwi, our Baroness, greatly prizing the labors that Valentine Christian Warner hath performed in service to our people, especially enthusiasm and dedication as chatelaine, do here create him a companion of our noble order of the Flaming Brand, that his name may shine from this day onward. Done this 23rd day of July in our Barony of the Flaming Gryphon, Anno Societatis 29. Barrack, Baron, Mavanwi, Baroness.
Please convey this to Lord Valentine. We were hoping that he would be response, but obviously not. I think we're all aware of his unceasing efforts as chatelaine. This is only a small token of what he achieved.
For Lord Valentine, hubba!
Hubba!
And Mavanwi, our Baroness, mindful of the service that John Alexander hath rendered unto our barony, most notably his uncanny ability to find sites for a variety of baronial functions. We grant unto him all rights and responsibilities attendant upon his elevation to our most noble order of the Flaming Brand, without let or hindrance from this day onward.
My lord, when we decide who to give honors to, difficult choice, but our main criteria is, has this person made our barony a better place? And there can be no contest if we have done that. Thank you.
For Lord John, hubba! Proclaim this day that we, Mavanwi, Baroness Flaming Gryphon, and patroness of the arts peaceful and martial, with Barrack, our Baron and Lord, do see and recognize the skill that Lancelot Peregrinus hath displayed in leatherworking. In recognition of these works, we do grant him companionship in our ancient and honorable order of the Griffin's Plume from this day forward, on this 22nd day of July, Anno Societatis 29. In our Barony of the Flaming Gryphon, in testimony whereof we place our hands below.
Lord Lancelot, this award is long overdue, and I hope you know that we appreciate your many artistic talents, music and sewing, not just leatherwork, but you're a fine example of craftsmanship to all.
For Lord Lance, hurrah!
Queen of the Middle Kingdom! Royal Princess of Northshield! Defender of Elamir and of Ethelmark!
Or someone... Flaming Gryphon, know ye that we, Mavanwi, Baroness Flaming Gryphon, and patroness of the arts and sciences, with Barrack our Baron, do recognize Jal Al-Gamal bint Mohammed and her skills as a seamstress. In honor thereof, we name her a member of our Order of the Griffin's Plume. Done this 23rd day of July, Anno Societatis 29, while sitting on our thrones in our Barony of the Flaming Gryphon, in testimony whereof we have set our hands and sealed. Well, ladies and all, hurrah! Hear ye now that Barony, Baroness Flaming Gryphon, and Beric, our Baron, are pleased to grant Lord Arthur ap Rodri companionship in our Order of the Griffin's Plume by virtue of his great ability and skill in the art of stitching. For Lord Arthur, hurrah! Their Excellencies do summon before them Callum of Cleflands. Their Excellencies do now summon forward Lord Nicodemus something or other. Their Excellencies would ask into their court at this time all of the members of their Order of the Griffin's Spear. By our will and command, and with certain knowledge of his valor, we, Beric de Winterbourne, Baron Flaming Gryphon, and commander of her mighty army, do recognize the invaluable service Lord Nicodemus something or other hath rendered unto the Barony of the Flaming Gryphon, as a member of her estimable army. We, Barony of Cardigan, Baroness Flaming Gryphon, and protector of the peaceable and weak, do acknowledge his staunch courage in the face of foes. Therefore, do we make him now and forever a companion of our valiant Order of the Griffin's Spear. Done this 23rd day of July, Anno Societatis 29, in our lands of the Flaming Gryphon at Push for Pennsic, Beric Mavanui. Their Excellencies do now summon forward Lady Gwendolyn Arwen des Etoiles d'Or.
Oh, sorry. Bud.
Hear our will and command, with certain knowledge of her valor. We, Sir Beric de Winterbourne, Baron Flaming Gryphon, and commander of her mighty army, do recognize the invaluable martial service Gwendolyn Arwen des Etoiles d'Or hath rendered unto the Flaming Gryphon. We, Mavanui, Baroness Flaming Gryphon, protector of the peaceable and weak, do acknowledge with gratitude her staunch courage in the face of foes. Therefore do we name her now and forever a companion of our valiant Order of the Griffin's Spear.
Fine service in archery. You have wonderful skill in the art of great sportsman.
For Lady Gwendolyn, Huzzah! Excellencies, we now summon forward Lord Hrothgar the Blind. By our will and command, and with certain knowledge of his valor, we, Sir Beric de Winterbourne, Baron, and Mavanui, our Baroness, do recognize Hrothgar the Blind as a companion of our noble Order of the Griffin's Spear, particularly for his skill in archery. Excellencies, I'm sorry, for Lord Hrothgar, Hubbah! Your Excellencies now summoned forward Lord Ivor Toldenskjold. By our will and command, and with certain knowledge of his valor, we, Beric de Winterborn, Baron Flaming Gryphon, and Mafanui, our Baroness, do recognize the invaluable service Ivar Toldenskjold hath rendered unto the Flaming Gryphon, and we name him a companion of our Order of the Gryphon's Spear.
Ivar, the way you fly your whole arm, my service. Please join me as we take over.
For Lord Ivar, Hubbah! Their Excellencies do now summon forward Lord Bruston de Berzil. By our will and command, and with certain knowledge of his valor, we, Sir Beric de Winterborn, Baron Flaming Gryphon, and Mafanui, our Baroness, do recognize the invaluable martial service Lord Bruston de Berzil, called Boarsbane, hath rendered unto the Flaming Gryphon, particularly for fighting and marshalling in times of war. We therefore name him, now and forever, a companion of our noble Order of the Gryphon Spear.
I would ask you all, the great service that these vessels have rendered us in times of war. Every time a person fights or arches or scouts and Pennsic, they bring a certain amount of glory and a certain amount of sacrifice. And for those who have mountain households, kingdoms, that has its own reward. But our barony, we have a reward for those who have fought with this banner. And so I would ask you to give these people your hand, and I would ask you, the members of the order, to welcome your new companions.
Lord Bruston and the other members of the Order, representatives from each of the Flaming Gryphon war lances. Now summoned into their court, Lord Hrothgar the Blind, companion of the Gryphon Spear.
Open category, James Cunningham. Please come up. At the end of the shoot, this stand will be yours. Next in open competition, Gildor Cathalion. Third in open competition, Lord Ian Gordon. Afterwards, one of these hands will be yours. In crossbow, Gildor Cathalion. Crossbow, Luciano Di Chalat. In longbow, Boromir of Esclavonia. And finally, second in longbow, Khan Nishimura. Who's also currently not here. Thank you.
For the winners of today's archery competition, and for Lord Hrothgar for organizing it, Hoobah!
Good gentles, I would like to thank Hrothgar the Blind, for without him this tournament would not be. I would also like to thank James Cunningham for his incredible hard work and his help in running the tournament. Also, I would like to thank those marshals who helped during the day. I would also like to thank the two ladies who I'm so lucky to have inspire me, our Baroness Conway and my dearest Lady Gwendolyn. As I still wear your sleeve and baldric this day, I was still shooting for you. Half of all that I win is yours. You may have any prize that you like that I have won. As my last duty, I would call forth a new captain of this new guard, and if she will have him, our Baroness's champion. Would James Cunningham please present himself before our Baroness?
Let all within bowshot hear these words and heed them well. There stands before you a champion, one most particular of archers, but worthy of this accolade among any folk. In times of war and peace alike shall he offer up his skills to defend our homes and teach us the ways of the bow. At all times shall he serve the will of their excellencies Beric and Mavanwi, and the good of the people of the Flaming Gryphon. For good service, honorable and true, shall James Cunningham enter into the ranks of archer champions of this barony, done this 23rd day of July, Anno Societatis 29. Beric, Mavanwi Baroness, Beric, Baron. Mavanwi is closed.
Be aware that the schedule of battles, as announced in the pre-Pennsic newsletter you so recently received, are not correct. If you have any, Her Majesty calls forth Hrothgar the Blind. This having been read and announced at a previous court, be it known that we, Jafar and Catherine, King and Queen of the Midrealm, are minded to make unto Hrothgar the Blind an award of arms for his service to the Middle Kingdom, specifically for his service as archery marshal, as well as his teaching of fletching and bowmaking. We bestow upon him the right to bear arms within the society, and all rights attendant upon this rank, done this 26th day of February, Anno Societatis 28, while sitting in our College of St. John's. Jafar, Catherine.
I always had great faith in our predecessors' good nature and wisdom. I have had the privilege today to see your conduct and skill in teaching and shooting, working with the archers, and I'm pleased today to see just how wise they were to present you with your award of honor.
Scroll by Barony de Montagar. For Rothgar! Hoorah! Hoorah! Emrys Eustace!
Yes. Ooh. Careful, honey.
Proclaim to all that we, Garlanda, Queen of the Midrealm and patroness of the arts, and Finn our king, right mindful of the skill that Emrys Eustace hath displayed in the art of costuming. Wish to recognize him a companion of our Order of the Willow. We grant unto him all responsibilities conveyed by his elevation into this order, and the right to bear the badge, prepare a willow tree eradicated ore, without let from any person, done this 23rd day of July, on Societatis 29, while sitting on our thrones in our barony of the Flaming Gryphon, Garlanda Regina, Finn Rex.
My lords and ladies, he's sitting here saying, I have nightmares just like this. You have almost always shown the opinion. You have usually been an example to everyone. Good, someone can look. On the other hand, today we get to see what you like to look like outside of tights, and that's where an award too. It brings me great pleasure to do this because we truly do admire you. Finn particularly likes your funny little hats. That's what he calls them. So, congratulations. And remember, the next time the Queen teases you about garb during the afternoon, it's a hint.
Come on, move! Hoorah! Up Zerg House!
He's dressed and he's wearing his belt.
Proclaim to all that we, Garlanda, Queen of the Midrealm and patroness of the sciences, and Finn our king, right mindful of the skill that Gareth of Zerg House hath displayed in the science of armoring, wish to recognize him as a companion of our Order of the Silver Oak. We grant unto him all rights and responsibilities conveyed by his elevation into this order, and the right to bear the badge, procure an oak tree blasted and eradicated argent, rooted ore, without let from any person. Garlanda Regina, Finn Rex, the scroll by Isolde de la Ramée.
My Lord Gareth, there is the ancient tradition among the companions of this order of the blasted and eradicated party, in which one is obligated to consume the fruits of someone's labor, become blasted and eradicated, and as Finn likes to say, hold 2 gold cups in your hand so that your fruits soar. I would suggest for you that it would be much more appropriate to hold 2 pieces of brass armor. Congratulations. Armoring is such an important skill, especially now when war approaches, and you have helped contribute to safety and fun of so many players, and I truly appreciate it. He just said, boy, I'm glad I wear the scarf.
For Lord Gareth! Hoorah! Her Majesty now calls Richard the Gry Lion. Or someone to accept. it be known that we, Finn, king by right of arms of the Middle Kingdom, and Garlanda our queen, are minded to make unto Richard the Gry Lion an award of arms in recognition of his service to the Middle Kingdom, specifically for his skill in training new fighters. Finn Rex, Garlanda Regina. This scroll by Viviana of the Winged Hills.
Finn remembers when he authorized. It was in Duke Sicolar's backyard, and he wore Serrato von Schwarzkott's armor. And he talks about how he really wasn't sure what to do with his arm. He didn't know where his elbow went when he threw a blow, and he certainly didn't know where his head went to get away from the sword. Richard is the sort of person who helps people, tells them where to put their armor and where not to put their head. I think every fighter out there can remember the person who helped them learn that. And I'm certain they will be able to appreciate the work this gentleman has. Please thank him for us.
For Lord Richard! Hoorah! Edmund of Hartford.
With Your Majesty's indulgence, as the Oaken General, I would like to address all of the archers.
Her Majesty calls for Mev Nudrian. May it be known that we, Garlanda, royal patroness of the arts, and Finn, our king, right mindful of the skills that Mev Nibrian hath displayed in the art of theatre, wish to recognize her as a companion of our Order of the Willow. Garlanda Regina, Finn Rex.
Crowd always knows you've chosen the right award when the crowd spontaneously cheers like that. I have had the privilege of seeing you perform several times, most notably in Shakespeare at the event that I'm at. Again, you performed in Coordinators Night. You have shown special talent for this. I hope that you will begin to show your talent not just within the Barony, but outside the Barony. We'd like you to inspire as many people as you can here throughout my kingdom. Good.
For Lady Mev, hoorah!
One of the scrolls appears to have gotten mixed in my mind.
I'm not sure what this name is. Can you read the name?
It's in offhand, Your Majesty. I can't make it out.
Could you call this person forward? Maybe you can read it.
Dmitri Volkovich is commanded! Proclaim to all that we, Finn and Garlanda, King and Queen of the Midrealm, are quite mindful of the time, labor, and love that Dmitri Volkovich has given to our realm through heraldic duties, and are pleased to make him a companion of our Order of the Dragon's Heart. And the right to bear the badge, Argent, a heart first, daily Argent. Finn Rex, Garlanda Return.
Many years ago, I was the Oaken Herald. And something came up suddenly, and I had to give up the office. For those of you who don't know, Finn won crown. It gave me such a good feeling to know that there was someone I could Did you know that the Triton Principal Herald says, you become a herald, I want you to be a herald like this guy from the Middle Kingdom? His name's Dimitri. Did you know that when I went to Antir, I spoke to Countess Elizabeth, one of their kingdom heralds, and she said, oh yeah, Dimitri's from your kingdom. The opposite ends of the continent know who you are, and they envy the fact that you are one of my voices. I am so proud of the job you have done. It keeps me. And besides,
For Lord Dimitri! Hooah! Her Majesty calls forth Brother Matthew of Three Towers, or someone to accept. Her Majesty calls forth Baroness Adana Natarpia.
my lords and ladies, you know the old SCA joke about when you're not there, people will volunteer you for something?
Eric Erickson, the scout, is commanded into the royal presence.
My lords and ladies, much of the SCA talk about virtue, nobility. Nobility is a funny thing, because when we talk about it, we frequently talk about doing something. For a member of the chivalry, nobility perhaps is fighting in crown tournament and giving up a point of honor, as opposed to continuing on and perhaps winning over someone lying helpless at your feet. Perhaps for a companion of the purple thread, nobility is not eating lunch because you didn't get your job finished and you want to get it done. Nobility isn't always what we do. Sometimes true nobility is what we don't do. True nobility can be not saying something nasty about someone when you have the opportunity. Sometimes true nobility is using a light hand to guide someone when it would be easy to use the whip and the spur to make them go to the path that you want. Sometimes it's turning the other cheek when you are wrong. Sometimes nobility is simply walking the path you're dealt as best you can with grace, courage, and dignity. Occasionally as queen, it is our privilege to note the character that someone of such nobility has. And there's an award that we give for this.
Anne of Winter Sky is called before Her Majesty. As has been known in this realm from ancient times, it is the privilege of the crown to create certain honors and to bestow these honors upon worthy subjects at its pleasure. And foremost among these honors is that of Court Baroness. For to be created Court Baroness is to be admitted to the rank of nobility and to be warranted a special position in the order of precedence. And while a Court Baroness shall have no power by that title over others, still shall that title bear suitable honor and great distinction for herself and her deeds. For a Court Baroness may be known by the title Baroness and then her proper name, and may wear, to signify her nobility, a silver coronet ornamented with 6 pearls.
My Lady Anne, for many years I have seen your work and seen the gentle way that you have influenced not just the Barony and Flaming Gryphon, but the whole of the region. You have been an example of quiet grace and the epitome of that virtue. His Majesty and I are very happy to be able to recognize that.
Anne of Winter Sky, are pleased to bestow her the right to style herself Baroness of our court, by reason of her gracious and noble service to the Barony of the Flaming Gryphon and the Oaken region. We confirm and acknowledge to her all rights, titles, and badges accorded her by this rank, without let or hindrance from any person from this day onward. Done by our hand, this 23rd day of July, our Societatis 29, sitting on our thrones in our Barony of the Flaming Gryphon, in testimony whereof we have set our hands and sealed. Fin Rex, Carlanda Regina.
The name of today's event is Push for Pennsic. We're doing exactly that. It's only 3 weeks away. To say that the East is geared up is an understatement. They think the Middle Kingdom is a pushover. They don't think they have to worry about us. So they're geared up because they think they're going to just get to come steamroll us. The Middle Kingdom isn't standing alone. Meridies and Palantir, the Outlands and Caid, the Kingdom of Drachenwald stands beside and behind us. They're going to help us show the East that there's a little more metal in the realm than they think. 3 weeks away. Between now and then, I need every person here to take your bow out and shoot. If every person here shoots at Pennsic War, that's 300 people. That's almost halfway to our goal of 1,000 archers. Remember, you don't have to get a point, you don't have to be the best archer. Average score at Pennsic is less than 1 point per person. You could get out there and throw the arrow like a dart, and you might get that 1 point. Every attempt counts. We need every single one of you. We need Gwendolyn to get out there and arch. We need Adana to get out there and arch. And of course, we need the archery guard to get out and to lead all the people on archery. For those of you who don't arch, don't think your contributions don't count. Will you cook a meal for someone out arching, fighting? Will you help unpack their armor or their tent? Will you make them a piece of garb so that they may be clothed on the way to the field? All of you contribute to winning Pennsic War. If we win the champions points and the archery points, we have won Pennsic War. If we win 2 battles and the champions points, we have won Pennsic War. Your generals are working hard. Every night they're working on plans, they're making troop assignments. Our champions are planning out what they can do to lead you to victory. And every night, your king is laying in bed saying, if I put Flaming Gryphon over here, I think they could really do damage to it later.
Not rolling over anybody.